Obviously, my friends have a really bad opinion of Rob. They know all the things Rob's done to upset me. But I hope Rob is able to show them that he can be the man that I want him to be, and I feel like he can definitely be honest with you.
If your friends don't like Rob, it's only for one reason. It's because you opened your mouth and you spoke about your partner in a negative way. Me personally, do I believe that people should speak about their partner in a negative way to their friends and family? Absolutely not. I mean, to be fair, I find it more on the feminine side. I find it's more women that talk. Oh, actually, no, hold on a minute. No, sorry, scratch that. No, it's probably equal on both sides, to be fair with you. But all I can say is that from my experiences, it's definitely been more women that's always want to talk negatively about their partner rather than men. But that's just based on my experience. That's probably because I put myself around people that if I speak about, obviously the person that I'm in a relationship with, I'm going to speak about that person in a positive way. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. And if I am seeking maybe some form of advice, it's definitely not a way where I'm going to be like, oh, she did that, she did this. No. I'll be okay. Say, hey bro, this happened. Give me your thoughts on it. And then obviously speak about it in the most respectful way possible. So yeah, I mean, it gets a reflection on myself. Obviously that's not how I would do things, of course. But I think when we look online for the most part and we're seeing all these podcasts and, obviously all these little reels and clips, whatever, and we see how women speak about men for the most part, it's always in a negative way. And I say I probably come across more videos of men speak in a positive way rather than in a negative way compared to women. But again, that's quite subjective because the internet is just one place, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's not fair for me to say that women do it more than men. But nonetheless, though, with that being said, though, Sophie has to recognize that if her friends do not like Rob, it's because she has opened her mouth about her husband in a negative way rather than in a informative way. There's nothing wrong with going to your girl and say, hey, this happened. Give me your thoughts, please, okay? And also make sure that I spoke about it in a respectful way. The way I look at it is this: if you're with people and they cannot speak about your partner to you in a respectful way, they shouldn't be people that you speak to. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what do you gain from that? What do you gain from somebody telling you, oh, she ain't this, he ain't that? You gain nothing. But if you're having an actual constructive conversation, then you're able to learn certain things from one another. Do you see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, let's get into it. Oh, and also on top of that, let's not forget, half the time, if you go to someone, you say to them, hey, I've noticed that he did this or she did this, and you're saying it in a negative way, the person you're telling to isn't going to listen to you, but you're saying it in a negative way. But if you're saying it in a way that matters, it may make a difference. Nonetheless, let's continue.
To be honest with you, I've had exes in the past. The guy they were with after me was the guy best friend.
I want you to remember this. This is a very key scene. If I'm going to play it again. Very key scene here.
To be honest with you, I've had exes in the past. The guy they were with after me was the guy best friend. It's honestly with me.
But that's your ex, that's not me.
It's life.
That's not me.
It's life.
That's not life. That's
It's
your
life.
ex did you wrong.
But
Is it because you're jealous or insecure?
It's funny, isn't it? How can you sit there and say that, oh, he's jealous and insecure just because he's got an issue with her being friends with a guy? But either way, though, let's hold our tongue just for now.
Marriage is all about compromising. You might do stuff that makes you uncomfortable, but it makes your partner happy. So
sure.
Ideally, you want to take advice from somebody that's actually married successfully, because clearly that advice was absolutely bonkers. How is compromising to allow her to have a male friend a good compromise? Especially given the fact that when Callum comes in, the first thing that he says is this.
Hello, gorgeous.
How are you? I'm good, how you doing?
I'm okay.
As a fellow British guy myself in particular, I tell you this now, if a guy comes in and he says, hello, gorgeous, straight away, he's 100% flirting, 100%. He doesn't necessarily say that. The only time a guy can come in and say hello, gorgeous to a friend is if he's a gay guy, to be honest with you. That's just for the most part. You know what I mean? But generally speaking, if I was to walk into a room right now, you know what I mean, and approach someone who's allegedly my friend and say, hey, hello, gorgeous, I'm not saying it because I'm being bloody nice. You know what I mean? I'm going to say, hey, how are you? Do you see what I'm saying? So really and truly, that line itself in particular, coming from someone from the UK, yeah, Callum is someone to be watched for. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we dated for a short amount of time when we were very first met when we were in Portugal. We dated for a short amount of time when we were very first met when we were in Portugal.
Remember a second ago when Rob said, usually when the girl is best friends with a guy, it's a guy that she dated previously. Sophie said, no, that's not me. No, that's not me. But hold on a minute, but you're friends with a guy that you dated. But then, of course, Callum decided to backtrack, decided to try and justify it by saying, yeah, but we was only 16, 17, we was young. So what? What difference does it make? If you had an attraction once upon a time, that attraction's always going to be there, right? It means at the end of the day, if he was to ever walk in and Sophie was like, listen, let's have sex, is Callum going to say no? Absolutely not.
So you and her dated? Make it a thing is a little easier when you already know about it.
Sophie has been making me bend over backwards to make it up to her about the online cheating. And this whole time, all I wanted is to just show her that I love her, I can be nice, I'll take her out, I'll do. She lied to me.
Now, I don't really know if the online cheating and this situation is necessarily the same conversation, but I will say they both do involve them interacting with different people. So I can see, obviously, there can be a comparison. But the way I look at it is more like Sophie has been a hypocrite and a liar this whole time. This is what I'm saying. But that doesn't surprise me because I'm pretty sure she's done it before in the previous season, to be fair with you. But hey, let's continue.
It's okay. If me and Callum had a whole relationship and slept together and all this stuff, of course I would tell Rob, but me and Callum, we dated a bit, but he's not an ex. Like, when I say my ex is...
Get up and go.
It's funny though, because if Rob had not told you that he was friends with an ex, that if he said, oh yeah, I'm friends with somebody who's just always been my friend, and didn't tell you that that person was actually one of his exes, you would be absolutely irate with him. Don't be a hypocrite. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to anybody. Come on, really?
Let's say my ex is...
Get up and go because too much going on in my mind. It's not fair to me for her to spring that on me and then expect me to just somehow, like, makes me feel like she don't give a about me.
Somebody tell me, in this situation, how would you feel? Finding out that your partner is friends with somebody that they were in a relationship with before, or at least dating. Fair enough that them two were never intimate. Fair enough. Okay, cool, no worries. But it's wild, isn't it? I mean, listen, it can be subjective because at the end of the day, we can argue and say that sometimes in life it can work. Sometimes in life it can be okay. I mean, look at it this way. It's not as bad as Tim and Veronica. Tim and Veronica were literally married, I believe. Pretty sure they were, yeah. Either way, though, they were together for years. You know what I mean? Sleeping in the same bed for years. I mean, man was given for years, you know what I'm saying? In this one here, obviously, it's not as much of a bigger deal as the whole Tim and Veronica situation. But at the same time, though, but at the same time, though, Sophie has kept this one quiet. And that's something that she should have never done. It would have been my point of view, my perspective, the things that I'm saying may have been different if Sophie had told Rob from the very get-go that, hey, I've got a guy, I know a guy, he's my friend, okay, and da-da-da-da-da. If she had told him from the very get-go that she had a guy friend and XYZ, things would have been different because obviously she would have pre-warned him at the very, very beginning and also made it abundantly clear that, hey, like, this is when he was young and da-da-da-da-da. So there was a chance that maybe I would have been given a different perspective, right? But I think, yeah, let's just leave it as that. But I'm definitely not going to say that I sound like a hypocrite because at the same time, obviously, when it comes to Jamal and Veronica, obviously we knew that he knew from the get-go. Obviously, we all knew, right? But that situation is so different, though. So different. You know what I mean? There's layers to that. This one here really doesn't have that much layers. Now, I'm not saying that I would have sat here and said to you, hey, it's okay for her to be friends with Callum. But no, I wouldn't have said that necessarily. What I would have probably said is like, listen, at the end of the day, if it ever comes to a time where she has to make a choice between Callum and Rob, who she's going to choose, that is the most important thing. That is something that I probably would have said. Because really into it, it's inevitable, isn't it, for the most part sometimes. But at the same time, though, people also forget this very, very key thing. When people get into a relationship, generally speaking, especially for men, we tend to start speaking to our friends less. Because what happens usually when we get into a relationship that is healthy, we prioritize spending time with our friend more than ever. I mean, we will speak to our friends, you know, on a daily basis, but we will probably see them less, especially if you're then ended up looking to start a family, all that kind of things. So really and truly, you know, that is something that is very key that also has to be remembered, because if you're in a situation that is healthy, right, you're probably not going to have to worry about this. You see what I'm saying? But hey, that's a whole nother conversation. There's more layers to that one, so I'll leave that on there for now. Hopefully it comes back up again in another one. But nonetheless though, leave it as there. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.